What's up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Mario, the award-winning Nintendo podcast, backed by 120 Power Star rating. And the doors to episode 116 are open. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and joining me, as always, is my wonderfully blue-shirted friend, it's Bryce DeWitt.
Oh, yes, I also see you're wonderfully blue-shirted today.
I've got a picture of a beach on my shirt.
You certainly do, and I've got tartan pattern, I guess.
Yeah, no.
So I suppose we're all sporting different
Yeah.
styles, but same colour.
I mean, you're looking at a nice sunny beach on my shirt. It's covered by the microphone, but outside it's raining at the moment, and we're a bit concerned that the rain will get picked up by the mics, but it should sound all right. But if you can hear the rain, I guess it's just extra immersion. You get to be in the southeast of South Australia, get to know what the weather's really like. It's going to be like 13 degrees or something tomorrow. Like
It was 9 degrees today. 9.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah, that's the lowest it got, 9.
I barely went outside because, it was crap.
This is shitty weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really wanted to mow the lawns and everything this weekend, but
It ain't happening.
it ain't happening.
No. Wasn't happening yesterday, and it wasn't happening today.
No.
No way. No, the rain's just been prevalent.
Absolutely. So, Bryce, we've got a couple of furfies in front of us. We're about to crack them. I guess I just want to bring up to our Patreons, we recorded an episode at the start of the month because Audacity had some problems on my computer. The audio come out all crackly in that. And despite our best efforts to try and record another episode, we just haven't had the time.
Yeah.
We've had the time to record the House of Mario, but as far as like the second podcast, we just haven't had enough time.
Yeah, it's been a very busy month in general.
Yeah, so we're still pushing to get that episode out for September. But I guess we're going to crack a furphy now.
Yeah, just in case we don't. We'll
Just
crack
in Just in case we don't, yeah.
Yeah.
What is it, the 22nd? So we've got a week
Yeah.
before another one's due.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which good luck, because my work shift's all jumbled next week too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit harsh.
Yeah, I just want to say as well, there's going to be a few changes to the Patreon next month, so stay tuned for the first Monday of next month,
Yep.
whatever date that lands on. I'm going to make a few a few changes to the tiers and everything. So,
Yep.
Yeah, so that'll be exciting.
But the $1 tier will still remain the same? Is that correct?
There'll be a bit more bang for their buck.
A bit more bang for their bucks. Well, there
you
you go. See, look,
Yeah.
positive values, mate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Bryce, this has been probably one of the biggest weeks for Nintendo and just tech and games in general.
Oh, yeah.
This weekend.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's huge.
Last 2 weeks has been
Mm.
absolutely enormous.
Yeah, like the Switch Lite come out, Link's Awakening,
Untitled Goose Game.
Ni no Kuni, not remastered, but on Switch.
Yep.
I haven't got to play with a Switch Lite yet, but I've been like looking at heaps of unboxings and everything.
Yeah. And that was just Friday.
Yeah.
That was just Friday.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like everyone's pretty positive on it. Like, it looks like a good piece of hardware, and like I'll be lying if I wasn't tempted by it. I'm like, oh, the colours look really nice because I just love bright colours.
Yeah.
I think if they had a bright red one, I'll be like, all right, I'm getting one. That would have me.
To be completely honest with you, I would have one if they met certain criteria down in the software-wise, and that is essentially down to cloud saving working, and the fact that, you know, primary consoles are still a thing. So you would have to make your Lite your primary if that's your on-the-go thing, you know, and I'm not sure where that sits with me.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too fussed about that. They would have had me if they had the cloud savings just across all games, because I love the yellow one.
Yep.
And the teal one has actually really grown on me seeing all these unboxings. I'm like, ooh, would I go for the teal one? I know, Dash, he bought the yellow one, and I see there's a bit on Twitter, him copping shit because everyone's like, why did you go for the yellow, not the teal? I'm like, oh. I see some people even when he got all three. I see Nintendo Guru's Bobby over there. He got all three. I'm like, Jesus. I don't know if these people just plan to do unboxings and return 2 of them, just because it's worth it for YouTube monetization or what, or they're just crazy people and want all 3 colors.
Well, to be fair,
because once you buy 3 colors, you've got to buy the rest of the colors that come out. There's no stopping.
The way I see it is that, you know, at the end of the day, even if you don't utilize all 3 of those consoles, at least you'll have the box ready just in case something happens with another one. And especially like when it comes down to the Switch's lifespan, like when eventually the Switch does get superseded by something else and, you know, those Switches stop being made, then at least you've got backups just in case. The thing is with cartridge-based systems is you usually get like a Retron by the end of that lifetime, so you'll be able to play those Switch games in another manner, but for a lot of people, they like to play it in the usual hardware style, so buying three Switches probably isn't a terrible investment, but the only problem is you'd have to be wary of the batteries in them. You wouldn't want them sitting there on their own too long.
Yeah, I know, like, there's depends on what the battery in the Switch turns out to be like, but I know, like, the PSP, that's, like, infamous for, like, just expanding and popping off the backs and stuff like that, so... Yeah. So, yeah, I would like to get one. I probably will eventually. I wish the Pokemon one was a bit more appealing.
Yeah.
It just being grey with a different colours on each side.
Why grey, of all things? Like, that's the concerning thing about it.
If it was, like, black or, like, that dark grey, like... with like the etchings in the back, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, that light grey, I'm like, I'd prefer just to get the yellow or teal over that one even.
Yeah.
Even maybe the normal grey version. I probably might prefer that one.
Yeah, even. Yeah,
because that actually looks quite nice. It's just kind of bland.
Well, yeah, but you've said that about every fucking Switch thing you've bought. I'm just like, I'm going for the Neon console. I'm like, I'm just going for the general black one. He's like, why? You've got neon. I'm like, yeah. I like the grey. It's fine.
That's fine.
But especially when you've got like a multi-range of colours like this, I suppose that's probably the less appealing in general. Especially like with decals. I feel like the colours work better with decals. And there was one unfortunate thing on Twitter. I'm sure you saw it. I can't remember exactly who posted it. But somebody took a Switch Lite and put a Pikachu sort of decal on it.
You might have seen it because I liked it, yeah.
There you go.
I'm like, because I saw that. I'm like, would I pay for that or would I pay for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
It looked beautiful.
It did look beautiful, but then when you zoomed in...
there's a bit of a...
there was there was smudges and you're like, oh, no. Oh, that's so unfortunate.
From the sounds of it, the poster was also... I think it was like a broken Switch Lite, so that's why the panel was off. Read down the thread. I think someone's like, should I take my panel off so I can do this? And the guy's like, in all caps, no. Because I think it was a broken Switch, so he took it off and paint. I don't really know, but regardless, it looked awesome. I really...
it really looked nice.
Without zooming in,
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the Switch Lite. For us, obviously, we haven't had hands on, so we can't really say much about it.
I'm sure we'll play with them at PAX.
Yeah, absolutely.
If anything.
I'm looking forward to, Or if not, we have to... strangle someone and go, oh, give me your Switch Lite. No! And just take it off them. Press the buttons a bit. Okay, thank you.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
And I guess the next major thing is Link's Awakening. You've only had like a couple of minutes hands-on just with the copy I've gotten, but I've played probably a couple of hours. Yep. I haven't played as much Switch stuff as I would have liked because I also got the new iPhone this weekend or the same day. So a lot of my like excitedness was for that and everything, and setting it up and all that. So a lot of my time went into just mucking around with that. But Link's Awakening, it's exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Yep.
A top-down Zelda game, remake of Link's Awakening, very pretty. All of the sort of comments about the frame rate and that going down just randomly, it's there. I notice it. I'm not a big frame rates guy, but when it's inconsistent like it is in this, it's like, yeah, you do notice it.
Yep. So
yeah, go on.
I took a lap. I did a semicircle lap of the top half of the world and had a look and stuff like that. And it's as gorgeous as it looks in the trailer. And the frame rate thing, I didn't personally notice it in the time I just mucked around with it just now. But the only reason I haven't picked this game up myself this week is because PAX is coming up. I got to worry about that, and there's so many games this week, and even the previous week, let alone. So it was sort of like, well, I've played Link's Awakening before. I know what I'm getting into. It's just going to be very pretty Link's Awakening. I can give it a pass for now, and it does. It looks brilliant, and I will certainly get it. But my God, as somebody that has only in recent times, last couple of years, got glasses, nothing annoys me more than blur. And for some reason, they have that blur around the entire edge of the screen, and it absolutely shits me off. Why?
Yeah, so it doesn't annoy me quite as much as it does you, but if the option was there, I was like, I don't want this. Go away. I don't want the blur.
Yeah. But like I said to you before, it's just like, you know what it reminds me of, and then I literally just took off my glasses.
Yeah,
it's exactly what it reminds me of. It's just like, why the fuck is it there?
So when you're looking at the Switch, all you see is like, why aren't my glasses working?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Like, what the fuck? I literally, before I even got a response out of you, I wiped your screen.
Yeah, you're like... He literally, I handed him, he's like, "Oh, give me a go." So I'm like, "Oh, here you go." And he goes, "Oh, what's on your screen?" He wipes my screen. I'm like, "No, man, that's just the game."
I was shocked.
What do you think I was doing? Like, I had like a bucket of KFC.
Well, you had it in your hands. You had it in your hands. I thought maybe you might put it under your armpit to carry it or something while you were checking something.
I just put Vaseline on my lips and I didn't wipe my hands.
Just like, oh, got to get it off, so you wipe it all over your Switch.
It's just my hand towel.
But like the thing is in the trailers and everything, like it looks so pretty, looks great. You know, it's always been sort of like, yeah, it's a Zelda game, I'm going to pick it up, and it certainly looks very, very nice for Link's Awakening. You know, but that blur really shits me. I don't understand why that's a thing. I'm not sure what the design choice was in there, whether it's just like, you know, I feel like that would not help the frame rate any better. I feel like it'd be a contributor to making it worse, surely, having a filter over it 24/7 where it just blurs the edges of the screen.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, like, what in this game is making the frame rate dip? Because it's quite unusual for a Nintendo first-party game. I believe this is a Grezzo game.
It is a Grezzo game.
Yeah,
yes.
So, you know, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on 3DS didn't have these problems.
No, they didn't really, no.
Yeah. So I wonder what sort of effects in that, because obviously it's a very shiny game. Like, all the characters are very shiny, very toy-like. There's the blur, and like there's these certain things going on. I wonder if those sort of aspects is what makes the frame rate dip.
Look,
yeah, it's just a bit unusual because
it's such a strange stylistic design choice to do something.
Because there's a few areas, say in Breath of the Wild, where the frame rate just goes right down. Most notably being the forest where you get the Master Sword.
Yeah.
But, you know, everywhere else is fairly consistent.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
But this one's like you come out of a house and it goes and it picks up again.
Yeah.
It's odd. But the time I've played it, I'm really enjoying it. Like, in all of these sort of top-down games, I'm always like just cutting every bit of grass, get as many rupees as I can. And I just love the exploration sort of aspect of these games too. Like, looking at the map, you can see like as you go to a new area, it sort of gets dusted off, and you're like, yes, and you get that sense of accomplishment.
Yep.
And also another thing about Link's Awakening is it's such a small map, so it feels pretty cozy.
Yeah.
And I like that nice small world cozy feeling, if you know what I mean. Like, look at Breath of the Wild, it's just, you can be overwhelming. Like, oh god, it's going to take a long time to get here, and like obviously that's great. But it is nice also having this real small sort of adventure.
I'll tell you, it certainly feels smaller than the original Link's Awakening's world, just from what I've played of it.
Yeah, because it's
like
the new graphics and everything.
I guess so, yeah. But like, I mean, I took a lap from around Kakariko Village up to Taotao Heights and back through the graveyard and all that stuff, you know. And like the travel time would have been significantly less.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's just not quite as long because you don't have to wait for each square to sort of move up. It's just free roaming now.
And I mean, I get that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, in general, I think it'll benefit from it being a very quick Zelda game that you can sort of just jump into and whatever. And, you know, it might be a good starting point for even my little girl to play.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, she plays everything else on the goddamn Switch. She might play a very cartoony looking Zelda sort of thing.
Be perfect. It'd just be interesting to see how, like, I guess her reading skills just need to be up there just to sort of
play
this game.
Yeah. Yeah, but she might, you know, just run around and do whatever. That's typically what she does in most games anyway. And she just slowly masters them over time. You know, we haven't worked out how much she knows when it comes to reading, because she doesn't. It's kind of hard to explain. Like, she'll attempt to read things, but she doesn't really read aloud, so we're not really sure whether she's getting most of it or not. But she knows what every letter is, and
yeah. I remember when I was a kid too. Reading in my head was a lot easier than reading aloud.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
because I like when I was a kid, I struggled with reading, and like I would read and I would understand it, but like the teacher's like, all right, it's time to like go from level 4 to level 5. You know how
you go up in the...
You go up and you read more sophisticated books or stories about little ducks or whatever. And when I was at the teacher's desk reading this book, I was just like scared because I knew I was crap at it.
Yeah. Right.
And then I got nervous and it made it worse. But yeah. Might be the same with little Evie.
Could be. Never know. But regardless, I still think it'd be a good little Zelda game for her to trot around in, whatever. And by the time she does get her Switch at Christmas, which is a thing.
That's gonna be exciting. You got to make sure you record that.
Oh yeah.
Set up a tripod, have it done, and that'd be awesome.
Yeah. She'll be like, I can say it now. She'll unwrap it. She'll go, "It's Daddy's Switch," and then I'll be like, "No, Evie, that's yours."
Ooh. So, Ash, what color Joy-Cons is she getting?
Look,
you have to make it different to yours. You have to get the neon, I guess.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, make it different. Otherwise, you'll mix them up. Maybe you want to mix them up so you can get the better battery life. She can have your old grimy Switch.
Yeah, like I just cover my greasy fingers in it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Just like one hand at KFC, even like wipe it on your Switch. Then you use the extra grease to slick back your hair. You're like, oh yeah.
Slick back my hair, yeah, right.
With KFC grease.
But yeah, so it's certainly in the lines of things where, because obviously I don't know whether I've ever actually sort of brought that. And we have talked about it, but yeah.
But you're getting a Switch
for her.
Christmas.
Yeah. Basically, it sort of just comes down to like we're all going to put $50 in or whatever, and then we're just going to make up the rest as it goes, and then we'll make that her big present, and it'll be like her turning point of like, okay, you have to be careful with this. You have to be gentle. You're not getting another one if it breaks. Simple as that. And if she does break it, that's it. She's not getting any more. She has to. She has to exactly. She has to learn responsibility, but she's pretty gentle with mine anyway.
So if she has an accident with one of the Joy-Cons, it's like too bad. You don't have access to the face buttons anymore.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah. It's just sort of. It's just sort of like I mean, I had a 64 at her age, and it was the same deal. It's just like you have to be gentle with this, otherwise you're not getting another one. And I mean, I manage with it, and she's always sneaking off with mine all the time and plays with it, so I don't have too much of a problem with that. And then like I've obviously got a library of games; they're all physical, so she can just borrow my games and put them in there. And,
does she own anything? I guess that big? Does she have any like toy or product? Yeah, so it'd be a good learning experience. Like, hey, this is a expensive thing. It's a big thing. You got to make sure you look after it.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Otherwise, you won't get the use of it.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I got my Game Boy, I traded that thing like
precious gold.
Like God. Yeah.
That's what I did with my 64 too.
Like I never took it to school or anything, and it's still going today. It's still going strong.
Yeah. Same with my Nintendo 64. I've had that for 22 years now. 22.
Jesus.
22 years I've had that Nintendo 64. It still works.
Yeah.
I've always treated it, with respect and never had any problems and stuff like that. I overuse the thing to shit, so it's a surprise it's not broken. Yeah. But,
I don't know about in general, but I know like a few of our friends, like all the Nintendo 64s are still going strong.
Yeah.
Seems to be.
Yeah, they're good consoles.
It's like like the Dreamcast and PlayStation 1 and stuff. Like you have problems with the disc reader.
Yeah. The laser. Yeah.
But the 64 seems to be going quite strong still.
Cartridge-based systems generally do, I feel. Like...
So obviously there's a lot of Super Nintendos still getting around. And
Yeah. Hell, I know there's a Super Nintendo that I had access to for a long time that was still going strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it's just one of those things where it's just like, well, I've got this library of games for the Switch, and I've got pretty much anything that can sort of say to her. She's got, Yoshi. I'll get a Kirby for Christmas. So she's got Kirby because Kirby's her favourite thing ever. Yeah. She loves Kirby.
She's playing what version was she playing on 3DS? Was it?
She played Kirby's Adventure on 3DS, and then she's usually playing Superstar.
Oh, yeah, playing Superstar
on the Wii U.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, so I'll get that for her for Christmas. But then I've got Mario Odyssey there, Mario Maker, Mario Kart, and then I'll have Link's Awakening if she's ever interested in a Zelda, and then obviously I've got Pokemon. She can just sort of chuck in there and play that as well, and she loves Pokemon, so she's easy.
Like obviously she really loves Pokemon. She loves the characters. She loves Pikachu. What Pokemon game do you reckon you'll introduce her with? Like the actual RPG, or what else is there on Switch? I guess there's like Quest or something like that. You could just like download. There you go, honey. There's a cube of Pokemon. Very simplistic. She can watch it, go and tap the buttons.
I tried to get her interested in Let's Go, but the problem with Let's Go is it's just like, especially at the time that came out, it was sort of like she was maybe just a little bit too young.
Yeah, that's probably a great place to introduce her. Like maybe there's a couple of these spin-off games which she might be a bit better suited than into Let's Go, and then when she's like even 5 or 6, then like Pokemon Sword and Shield. And
well, the only thing is that like I don't have Let's Go anymore. I got rid of it.
Oh really?
I have no need for it anymore.
I would have bought it off you.
Well,
Eevee,
it's gone.
Oh, well.
It's gone. It's gone.
I would have paid more than EB Games.
Oh, I'm sure you would have. I'm sure you
Well,
would.
how much did you get from EB Games? Curious.
I have no idea.
Like
I think it was like
$30.
$30. Yeah.
Obviously that's pretty good for EB Games. But
well, yeah. Most Pokemon titles are that much at EB Games.
Yeah,
it's really crazy how much they pay for.
They'll turn them over pretty quick.
They do.
Imagine, yeah.
Yeah, they turn them over fast and for good profit.
Yeah, well,
they always do.
They'll charge like
$60 for platinum.
Yeah,
some stupid like that. No, they do.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
They absolutely do.
But at the time, platinum was rare because it wasn't out anymore. So I guess they are. Eventually, they will go up in value because people will want them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, but yeah, just I think past that prime, done whatever, and she's not a motion controls kid. Like she doesn't really get it. She doesn't really get him.
I don't get this.
Yeah, exactly. She plays with a controller, so like I mean. You would think like, oh, kids get the Wii, for example, or whatever. But even on the Wii, she doesn't play anything with motion control. She just plays old games. She's into classic games. She loves classic games.
Yeah, I heard the first phrase she said was, "What is this waggle crap?" Is that what? No.
Which reminds me, I've still got your remote sitting at my house. Yeah. I've been meaning to bring it every
dog hasn't
time.
eaten it.
No.
Kids haven't chewed on it.
No. It's on a shelf. I took the batteries out of it. It's good to go.
Yeah, because it's my limited edition Zelda one, and Bryce borrowed mine because he had to set up a Wii for his grandparents or your mum and.
Oh, for mum, so that Evie's got something to play.
Yeah, that's
there.
right. Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, don't look after it, don't scratch it."
No, I used it once. I put it back up on a shelf, took the batteries out of it, put it back up on a shelf. It's been sitting there since, and every time I go, must bring that back to Drew, and always forget.
Yeah. No,
it's always sitting there, but yeah, no, yeah. So anyway, after that long tangent, I guess, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I want to bring up Untitled Goose Game. So obviously. Unfortunately, I pre-ordered at the same time I got Link's Awakening, but I have not yet booted it up yet. So we've got a question from Dane PV. He asked, how do you make the groundskeeper wear his sun hat? Asking for a friend. And this is basically in the game. You've got like the groundskeeper has just a normal hat on, and you've got to take it off him and somehow make one of the sort of objectives is to make him go and get his sun hat.
Yeah.
And I guess I haven't played the game, so I... don't know yet, but Bryce, if you were a goose, we're gonna do a hypothetical. So this is real life. This isn't video games here. This is dead serious. If you were a goose and you said that man needs to wear his sun hat, he's got no protection with this silly little cap he's got. He's gonna burn his ears. He's gonna get skin cancer. He's gonna die. You as a goose, it is your responsibility to save that man from skin cancer. What do you do to get him to wear his sun hat?
Steal his normal hat.
Okay, so that's what happens in the game. So you steal his normal hat and. What does he do? He goes, oh, bugger, I'll get another hat.
Well, the way I see it is you'd steal his normal hat, you'd hide the normal hat, and then he has to wear the sun hat, right? And like I've seen gifs of the game like going around, obviously, where things happen, and one example, minor spoiler, I guess, if you care about whose day you're ruining, is you steal a kid's toy, you make him trip over, then you can steal his glasses.
Yeah, so
that's a thing you can do.
But he's hiding in the phone booth like Rennie's mum all scared.
Theoretically, you would have to do a similar thing. You would have to make him lose his cap somehow, surely, and then hide it, and then he would have to go to get the sun hat because he's got no other choice. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
I know what I'm saying.
Jesus, I actually called the last week's episode. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I'm sure a lot of people, it did less downloads actually, so a lot of people probably like, what the fuck you want about, just moved on. But yeah, it's all good. So yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to it, but like I said...
Oh, so am I. I just haven't... Yeah, it's one of those things as well. Like, September's been such a huge month.
Yeah.
Where it's sort of like, I really want to play Untitled Goose Game, and I do want to play Link's Awakening, but they're the closer ones to PAX, which makes it a little bit harder.
Yeah. I was happy to see that Untitled Goose Game. I went to pre-order it the night before. It wasn't up for pre-order. I woke up early in the morning and it still wasn't up. I was like, all right. And they said on Twitter that it's going to be up about 9 o'clock your local time. So 9 o'clock come around and I was pleasantly surprised that it was 25% off. So it was down from 30 to 22 or something like that.
No, that's good.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, well, that's a nice surprise. I was going to pay 30, so...
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really know why they just randomly put a sale on, because it was, a pretty...
Just an early adopters sale, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is I don't think these guys realise how excited people were for this game. Because it was huge at PAX.
Oh, yeah. That was a huge... We were very pretty silly about it, because we had early access to Nintendo's booth. We went and played a lot of Smash, went and played Pokemon, because obviously Smash was the game we really wanted to get our hands on. Just like how it feels, because like stuff like Pokemon, even Sword and Shield, I don't need to play a demo of that.
No,
it's gonna be Pokemon. Like and without your own team and everything, it's not really. There's no point in just jumping.
And I mean, we still probably will play a demo this year.
No, we absolutely will, because I want to. But it's not like Smash where I'm like, all right, what's the differences? What are the physics like? What's this character like? What's this mode like? What are the There's a lot going to that. So yeah, and we played a lot of Smash, and we talked about it a fair bit. But there was the indie games there, and we saw Untitled Goose Game. Oh, awesome! We'll play that later.
Yeah.
Little did we know there was going to be
a line the size of Kingdom Hearts 3's line.
And I was listening to Arcade Couch by Explosion Network, and Dylan was saying that they waited for about an hour or so to play the game. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, at least it's out there.
Yeah. So I regretted not playing it at PAX, but here it is now, and I still haven't played it. So
you'll get around to it though.
Yeah,
just as I'll get around to it.
Yeah.
I was talking to I was watching Eric's stream.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Old Nintendo by numbers.
Yeah.
I was watching his stream, and it really caught my attention, because he was just like, he was trying to get this rake out of the yard. He took the rake, put it in the lake, and he achieved one of the tasks, rake in the lake. I'm like, all right. Now I have to buy this game just so I can be a dick to people. And then I was poking Jade. I'm like, hey, look, it's a game where you're just a goose and you're a dick about it. I'm like, I'm buying this game. She's just like, with what money? I'm like, yes, I know. I would have to wait till after PAX.
Yeah.
I would totally want to play it there.
Yeah, well, it's going to be like 2 beers at PAX. That's $24.
Yeah. The last thing I bought leading up to PAX was Borderlands 3, and then I was like, okay, that's it. I know there's a few games coming out. I totally want to play them. I can't. I need the money to get to PAX. So that was my last big purchase, and then these couple of things I'll just trickle back into my collection after PAX.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be a big month.
It is going to be a huge month. Yeah. It's already been a huge month for games. Next month is going to be a huge month because we got PAX. Oh boy,
it's going to be fun.
Oh, it'll be good.
It's going to be fun.
Oh, I'm not complaining. PAX is fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we also got a question from Metadocs, and this is going to lead into our sort of next conversation.
Cool.
So, any predictions for a Galarian Evolution exclusive to Shield to be the counterpart to Sirfetch'd's sword? So, last week, Sirfetch'd was announced. It was the glitch Pokemon that was announced. So, it's a Galarian evolution to Farfetch'd from the Kanto region.
I totally predicted it on last week's episode, too.
I mean, you did, but it's also been leaked.
Oh, come on.
For ages. It's been leaked for ages, dude.
I did not know about the leak.
Oh, well, congratulations. I do say, Bryce.
Jesus Christ. No, legitimately, yeah. No.
Yeah. Well, great job, Bryce. Well done on the guess.
I just caught on with people saying something about Sirfetch'd, and I was like, yes, that sounds like a great idea.
So yeah, Sirfetch'd is going to be just a pure fighting type.
Yeah,
which is interesting because it's a bird and it doesn't fly. It doesn't fly at all, Bryce.
How's it going to fly with a giant shield and a giant sword like that?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, how's it going to hold them though? It's got wings. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, that got you. Jesus.
I'm not even going to fucking rectify that.
No, well, please don't. So So yeah, Surfetch'd. Its category is the wild duck Pokemon. It's a fighting type. It's the height of 2.7 inches, and its ability is steadfast. And yeah, so it's also another Pokemon in the Galar region. So
no, it isn't.
It is interesting because I was thinking like, is this going to make? Because like obviously, say Diamond and Pearl, when they introduce heaps of new Pokemon that will evolutions to old Pokemon, like Porygon Z to Porygon 2, etc., etc., etc. Like there was heaps of them, and now we're getting like, it's a Galar evolution, but really it is exactly the same as it was in Diamond and Pearl. Like you're not going to be like, mine's a Kanto Farfetch'd, so it's not going to evolve. It's like no, it will evolve, and it's always going to have that evolution in games to come. It's never going to be just a Kanto one with no evolution anymore.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, it'd be weird if it is, because it would just...
Yeah. With everything else that's gone on with Pokemon in the last year or so.
Well, that's right. I guess the next games, they could be like, hey, the Galar forms...
Like we're not going to get Alolan forms.
Don't reckon?
I don't reckon we'll get Alolan forms.
That's the thing.
Else.
I haven't actually thought about that. Yeah,
and if we do get them, they won't be available to end game or something like that, where people are just like, if you train your Pokemon under the right weather conditions or something like that, and then it'll be like,
it's got to be at least 50 degrees outside.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to put in some ridiculous mechanic to accommodate for that. But I mean, that doesn't apply to all Alolan forms, because you've got, Alolan Vulpix and Ninetales, for example, where they're in extreme ice, and then I don't know. It's a weird situation. Anyway,
that is a thought, but well, we can't think about the next games yet. But I think it is interesting that they are sort of like positioning this as it's a Galarian evolution, but really it is just the evolution now.
Yeah,
Even if there are Kanto games in the future, I don't think Farfetch'd is going to be stuck as Farfetch'd. It will evolve into Surfetch'd. But I guess, because back in the day, I do remember, like, you go to Sinnoh region, so all these Pokemon have evolutions now. It's like, this is a bit weird. Why didn't they know about them before?
Yeah.
Because there was no, like, it's because of the terrain, it's because of the conditions, it's because of how they're raised in this new place of the world. It's just like, they've got evolutions now. I guess you could say, because, we've figured out there's these stones here and they work. I guess you could phrase it that way, but yeah. Yeah. So Meta does ask, so...
What would be the shield counterpart?
Yeah, so Surfetch'd is exclusive to Sword. Which will be the exclusive to Shield, you reckon?
Oh, shit.
I guess a few of the rumours or the conversation pieces going around is like Shuckle. Shuckle could be, like, he's obviously the most defensive Pokemon in the game. He could have an evolution, or it could have an evolution. I keep saying he. He could have an evolution that evolves into like a big beefy shield or something like that. It is strange though, because I guess Surfetch'd does have a shield as well, so you can't just say he's a sword Pokemon.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are saying like, you do notice the big leak he's got, or the spring onion, or whatever this thing is. It looks more like a spring onion now, to be honest.
I love the memes that have been extending that thing.
Yeah, just this huge sword. Is it a sword or is it a lance? Like, it's more of a lance.
It is a lance, I reckon. I don't like a lot of people referring to it. There's like, it's a sword, but no, I seriously think it's a lance.
It must be a lance because it's not sharp. It's just like you got to like stab them with the end.
Yeah, and it's huge. And like, it is not uncommon for you to read any medieval literature, whether it be, books or watching a movie or playing a video game or something like that. It is not uncommon to see a shield with a spear type weapon. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm changing it. All right. Even if you just watch something as simple as 300, it's like, yes, I know it's not a lance, but it's still a shield and a spear, right? And that's still taller than a sword. Doesn't matter what way you slice it.
Jesus, bros.
I know.
Oh. Yeah, go on.
So I'm pretty confident that it's a lance, and it's supposed to be like reminiscent of jousting. So I guess, is there going to be a counterpart? Is there a need to be a counterpart? It's not technically a sword even. He does have a shield. So let's put it in the category that maybe he won't be the sword exclusive. He'll be the shield exclusive. It's possible.
Well, no, it does say that Sirfetch'd is sword exclusive. Yeah, it says at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Very,
cool.
like they point
in
out.
fine print.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's not even fine print at the bottom. It's just got sword logo.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely the sword exclusive Pokemon. They say it very clearly, but yeah. So obviously there's counterparts in all games. You got.
What about Dunsparce?
Dunsparce, yeah, it's got to be another useless one-stage Pokemon.
It does. It absolutely has to be a
Dunsparce.
useless one-stage Pokemon. Yeah, Dunsparce.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be one has to be a sword, the other one has to be a shield. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. You got the legendaries representing that. They do that fine, but obviously this guy has an attacking weapon and his shield. Maybe it would be the same for one of these other Pokemon. Like Dunsparce might evolve into something with a sword, a weapon, and a defensive item as well.
Yeah, maybe.
Dunsparce is a bit harder because he's just like a little slug.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is that we've had bug-ish Pokemon in the past that have had that sort of stylistic, like Escavalier.
Yeah. He was cool. I had a shiny one. I was very excited.
Yeah, Escavalier and what was the other one? Axelgor. They've gone completely from bugs to completely different aesthetics, and yeah, I know it's not a bug, but Dunsparce is pretty much a bug, right? Like, it's a lava.
Yeah.
So it has to evolve into something. And when you can...
I see him more as a fish, but yeah.
A fish? Really? You find him in a cave.
Yeah, I know. I'm wrong, but I do see him as more
He's the type of... Literally...
What type is he? Is he normal?
He's normal.
Yeah, that's right.
The thing is with Dunsparce is... The most logical solution is to move Dunsparce into Yanma's evolution pool, but it's not.
Yeah, that was the thing, wasn't it? Like,
yeah.
It evolves into like a dragonfly, and that dragonfly becomes a bigger dragonfly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yanmega was cool. That was an awesome evolution.
Yanmega, yeah.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
But just thinking about that randomly.
Oh no, I absolutely agree. But that was kind of the logical thing, but they never did, and it was just like, okay, so what is Dunsparce? Nobody remembers Dunsparce for anything.
No, because why?
Yeah, exactly, because he's got nothing.
That's the thing of like with Farfetch'd, like. There are some of these Pokemon that, especially in the first games, you got to finish the game to trade, don't you? And get them?
I think so.
I can't remember where you trade for him. Just near it's just up from Pallet Town, isn't it? It's in that house. You trade for... Who do you trade for Farfetch'd? I'm going to have to look this up, but...
I know what you're talking about.
Yes, but like it's the only one you can get. It's always got the nickname. You can't make it your own. There was no breeding back then. So it's just a very overlooked Pokemon. It was obviously got very
unless you traded
stats.
Unless you traded with red, blue, and yellow, you couldn't get it. Apart from that one trade, yeah. So there's no such thing as a unique one. You kind of have to just go find one yourself in red, blue, or yellow, and then trade it with a nickname that you want.
Yeah. I do find it funny though.
Its name was Ducky though. I remember that.
Ducky.
Its name was Ducky. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it might have been in Vermilion.
It was near there. It was just like that route where you got to cut to the right. Just under,
that's up.
Under the second entrance to Nugget Cave.
Yeah, up from Viridian.
No, Diglett Cave. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit rusty. I only played the games last year, but.
Sure, that's not Mr. Mime.
Might be Mr. Mime.
I think it's Mr. Mime there, and then I think in Vermilion City you get Ducky.
Ducky. Yeah, I can't remember now. I'm just gonna
just Google it, mate.
Yeah. So you vamp for me for a little bit. Where?
But with Dunsparce, I think you could do a very similar thing. I don't think the thing with Shuckle is it stands very much on its own without an evolution. It obviously has the highest defense stats in the game. You can use it as a toxic staller. It doesn't really need any help through an evolution, whereas Dunsparce is literally useless. You can't set it up as a defensive wall. You can't set it up as anything. Its BST is like stupidly low. With Shuckle, you can literally turn him from a toxic staller into an absolute hell of a class cannon, like in an instant. Just with Trick Room or whatever it was. I can't remember which swaps the defense and attack stats around. You can literally just turn him into an absolute monster.
Which is awesome. I love the idea.
Yeah. With some setup, Shuckle is absolutely strong, and you don't need to sort of set him up in that regard. But a Pokemon like Dunsparce literally has no use. So I feel like it would have to be something like that, because Farfetch'd also come from the same thing. Like, Farfetch'd has no use. You can try use Farfetch'd competitively, but you're not going to be able to find a method to do it because he has no niche. Whereas Shuckle does. Shuckle has a niche, has two. and that's toxic stalling and trick rooming, or whatever it's called, the one that switches your attack and defense. That's the thing with all this psychic moves. I never fucking remember them. But anyway, it's it's something you can solve with Shuckle just through regular gameplay. But with Dunsparce and Farfetch'd, you absolutely can't. Like, they have no meta.
Yeah. So I'm sure everyone's like, we already know, Drew. You don't have to tell us.
I have to know.
You slow bastard.
I have to know.
Yeah. So for a Spearow, you trade. So you go to Vermilion City. You go down to the left, then you go up to a house. There's a girl that wants a Spearow to trade for a Farfetch. And
so I was right. Yeah.
And its name is Ducky.
Yeah, I told you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I believed you.
They're my favourite games, mate.
They're your favourites.
They're my favourite games. Well, yeah. Apart from Black and White too. Yeah.
Gold and Silver.
Yeah, but that was Gold and Silver as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Cool. But yeah, no, I think it's probably going to be Dunsparce. Honestly, I feel like it's, especially from the earlier generations, I feel like it's one of those Pokemon that have gone completely ignored.
It is interesting too, because they are doing some, like, we've got 2 Kanto Galarian forms again.
Yeah.
So they are still dipping into Kanto, which you think they'll be like, all right, let's try and get some other regions a bit more love, but
yeah. Oh, I mean, at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. I think it's Dunsparce though. Did you have a pick at all? I've been going on about Dunsparce all this time.
Oh well, I just brought up Shuckle. Like
Shuckle.
Yeah, because that's what a lot of people talk about. Yeah, Shuckle. I'm sure there's there's obviously heaps of them. But
Yeah. I just feel like Shuckle already has a niche somewhere. It just depends on how you want to build a team. He's one of those Pokemon where you've got to be crafty with him, but he can still work.
More crafty. Yeah. So we'll move on to another topic. So Jamie Penny, he brings up too many games being released, not enough time to play them.
Jamie, yes, I know.
Pretty much the exact opposite of the Wii U era. So
100%.
I brought this up to you the other day. I'm like, Bryce, don't you miss the Wii U days where we just had like nothing to play? And then when we had something to play, I was like, oh my god, we're playing a video game. We're seeing something move on our TV.
Amazing.
This is fantastic.
Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess obviously we're not complaining. We're not going to say that we want to go back to the Wii U days, because no, we do not. We don't want to go to no support from third parties, barely anything from Nintendo, just like 2 or 3 games a year. Definitely don't want that. But I guess we could enjoy each title a little bit more.
Yeah.
Which is like a bit of, it's not really an upside. You know, you can still enjoy them. You don't have to play everything necessarily. But yeah, it's definitely a thing.
Well, especially again, this time of year has been one of the more hectic months in recent memory. The other one was when the only one I remember past this one was back when Breath of the Wild, Horizon Zero Dawn, Nier Automata were released.
Yeah.
That
was nuts.
Yeah, that was an insane week. Pretty sure it was all within the 1 week. That was absolutely mental.
I feel sorry for Horizon.
Got overshadowed
by Guerrilla, because that game initially got leaked by a Chinese outlet or something like that, and it got leaked, and there was the art of Aloy there with bow and arrow shooting down this like robot, and I'm like, oh my god, this game looks like it's made for me, and in every aspect it is made for me. I was looking forward to it, and the release dates lined up exactly with Breath of the Wild the same week. I think Horizon was only like a little bit before.
Yep.
And I just obviously playing Breath of the Wild all the time, playing my Switch, and especially in the honeymoon period where you just want to play games on your Switch, and I was playing even something I wasn't that excited about, I'll still be playing it on Switch. And then I got to Horizon, and I guess I enjoyed it, but I just I lost interest in it.
Yeah, in the mindset of Breath, in the post Breath of the Wild thing, you kind of just like, I just had a big open world game.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like, you know, like I need to move on to maybe a 2D platform or something a bit more just digestible for actually like exploring. And
it was a very similar situation with me and Nier Automata. Like, I was kind of like, I've been waiting for a Nier sequel for a very long time, because Nier is a really good game, and you know, Nier Automata was very promising, just from what was shown in general, but I had to delay that game a long time thanks to Breath of the Wild. But when I did eventually get around to it, because I bought it release, but the PC port was terrible, and I wish I knew it before buying it. I did later pick it up cheap on PS4 and played it and had an absolute blast with it. And Nier's an incredible game. But
we'll fund that sequel for him.
Yeah, copies, well, yeah, that and the whole 24-man tier for the next 2 years in Final Fantasy XIV is Nier.
Okay,
it's Nier Automata. Yeah, Yoko Taro is working on it and everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So every 24-man raid we have, it's all Nier themed, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that stuff because I'd love to see more Nier Automata stuff. We're obviously not going to get more of it, unless it's through this. And Yoko Taro is directly involved, so it's like yes, we get to see more Nier. But the difference between
you are seeing some of the DNA come through in Astral Chain now as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. But with Breath of the Wild, I think in comparison to like Nier Automata, at least Nier Automata is more of I guess shortened adventure, sort of play it as you see fit. There's technically 3 playthroughs you've got to go through to completely finish Nier Automata, but you could be completely satisfied with the first if you wanted.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You won't get the...
I know what you're
saying.
Yeah.
You
I've got to stop pointing that out. I'll just...
Yeah, I know. You wouldn't get the entire story if you stopped at the first playthrough, but it can end there for you if you don't want to go further. So you can make Nier Automata a 10-hour experience if you really wanted to, when technically it's about a 30-odd hour experience.
Yeah.
So I guess it took me a while to digest. I spent so much time in Zelda, and then I was just like, all right, now I'll play Nier Automata, but I'll pick it up when it's cheap on PS4 because I could not play the PC port. It was terrible. It had Denuvo.
Did they fix it?
No, fans fixed it.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
It was a
fans fixed it.
Yeah, it was a terrible port. It was awful. But the other problem is that the game has Denuvo. So I bought Nier Automata just before we moved, and because it's got Denuvo, I couldn't play it. Yeah, I had a bricked copy pretty much on PC for a whole month.
Yeah, and that's when you smashed out Persona 5, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's when I smashed out Persona 5, and
cool, man.
Not a terrible decision. Persona 5's an absolutely incredible game, but yeah. So I suppose I feel that I had to dodge Nier Automata for so long because Zelda was there and I was already playing that anyway, and then I was Denuvo locked, so I couldn't play it anyway. So yeah. But
yeah. All right, let's move on to another topic, Bryce. Another question. So Evan Lee, he asks, would you purchase remakes of Link to the Past and Link Between Worlds and Minish Cap and Oracle? And the Oracle of games in the style of the Link's Awakening game on Switch. I would love to play them all again with this engine. The only gripe would be a solid frame rate next time, please. Sort of a nervous face emoji.
Nice.
So Bryce, you start off. Would you buy it? Would you buy it?
Okay, so
would you spend your cash?
Link to the Past and Link Between Worlds, no. For a very obvious reason.
Link Between Worlds just came out.
Link Between
it looks good.
Yeah, it came out not that long ago, and it is literally meant to be the upscale of Link to the Past. Yeah. And it is a sequel to Link to the Past, but it is literally supposed to be the remaster to its own definition.
That game blew me away. That really caught me off guard how good that game was.
It was such a crazy game. Yeah. Like I loved that game. It took me what was it, a year and a half to finish it, because I ended up just getting trapped in like a vicious cycle, but I'm so glad I did. But
vicious cycle, what was that?
Oh, between because it came out around the similar time when I was like moving and all that shit, and then I had all this shit to play, and
because it came out the same day as 3D World on Wii U, which was just like, because I was like excited for a new Mario game, and it turns out the Zelda 3DS game was the one which
should have taken priority.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was really good. But same thing. I picked up Mario 3D World as well to begin with. It took me at least another month or two to pick up Link Between Worlds. But yeah, because of that relationship between those two games, we already have it. It's on 3DS. It's not 100% the same experience, but you're going to get largely the same experience that you would from a upscale of Link to the Past. But as for the Oracle games would be really good in theory, but the only problem is that the problem with the version exclusive Zeldas per se was that
You need to put them together now.
you need to put them together to get the best experience out of them, and that was a problem obviously back in the Game Boy Color, let alone.
They're not a $40 Game Boy Color game anymore. Like you can,
No.
yeah. Put all like the content together, and maybe whether it's all you can access it all in the same run, or you do like choose at the start which path. I guess that'd be interesting.
I tell you what, I would like to see that game get a Link Between those games get a Link Between Worlds treatment. So bring it up, make it its own thing, and then you can sort of again, like what you just said, pick your path.
That'd be cool.
I think that would be a good way to do it. And
do like the third version, like a Pokemon, because those games originally did have a
third version.
Yeah, they're originally going to be named after the 3 pieces of the Triforce.
Yeah, they were.
But then they obviously opted to do the 2 versions, and after ages and
then it sort of went wherever. Yeah.
Which is, if there was 3 versions, like, oh gosh, Jesus Christ!
Yep.
All at once. At least Pokemon breaks it up.
Yeah,
by a couple of years. Yeah,
I'm totally for that. For the Oracle games,
yeah, that'd be cool.
And Minish Cap, I love Minish Cap. I adore Minish Cap.
That'd be cool.
It is honestly one of my favorite top-down Zeldas.
Yeah, just like imagine this. Obviously, we had the DS games in the Wind Waker style.
Yeah,
like it looks pretty. Going back to it now, especially like, oh, this looks pretty bad. But could you imagine like a real crisp like Wind Waker HD graphics?
They really redid it. Yeah,
yeah, but like from the perspective of like what we're getting with Link's Awakening.
Yeah,
and
top down.
And it's like real crisp looking, and it's in that world of the Minish.
Nice looking tone. Yeah. Nice looking Toon Link. Yeah.
And one of the cool things about, say, the Pikmin series, like Pikmin 3, when you're real small and just having like all the detail and like the grapes and the bits of dirt, you have that. But in Minish Cap, like you got the blades of grass, when you come up, and it gives you like a real like perspective of what it looks like. That'd be really cool.
Oh, I'd love to see it.
I reckon that's the one out of all of these games to redo.
Yeah, Minish Cap. Yeah,
Minish
for
Cap,
sure.
Yeah,
like I know it was primarily made by Capcom.
Oh, it was made by Capcom.
But
same with the other handheld games too. Oracle of Ages and Seasons.
Always primarily because it's not their assets.
Yeah.
You know, never. It was made by Capcom. They own Zelda.
They bought them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but Minish Cap is one of my favorite 2D Zeldas by far. Like a lot of people have issues with it because they're like, oh, Lorenzo's annoying. I don't like the talking bird cap, and I don't like being tiny, and some of the gimmicks in that game are annoying. But to be completely honest, it's like one of the most content chocked Zeldas in that perspective. Like if you want extra additional side quests and shit to do, Minish Cap has got so many. Even if it's just trying to get all the kinship stones or kinstones, whatever.
I can't remember now.
It's either one. Even if it's just getting all of them done, like there is things to do with that. You know, there's a lot of side quests in it for such a small technically Zelda game. And a lot of the dungeons and stuff are really cool in concept too. Like even just in the Goron Mountain with the cane and the boss being like a giant Loch Ness monster in lava, and the Sky World using the Rocks Cape was great. Yeah. Just seeing something like that, I think going up would be absolutely brilliant, and it's definitely my pick too, I reckon. I'd love to see the Oracle games done, but definitely Minish Cap, I think.
Yeah, Minish Cap really cool. Just like in the actual question, he says, "What would you like to see in the same art style as Link's Awakening?" Personally, none. I'd like to see none of these games in the same style. Link's Awakening,
similar engine,
similar, obviously similar engine, but without the frame rate, like he says. But as far as like the actual art style and everything itself, it's set up in a very particular way because of what this game is.
Yeah, it's a fever dream.
Even that motion blur you're talking about, that's, if you've played the games before, it's like, yes, I get it. That's why it's there. It's not like if they put that in Breath of the Wild, it's like, what the hell? This makes no sense.
Yeah. But
in, say, other games like A Link to the Past, there's a very different tone in that game. There's no chain chomp. There's no just weird. Well, they're obviously weird characters, but
Kirby.
It's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Furby.
Nightmare and Dreamland. Kirby. And the Yoshi doll. The Yoshi doll had its text change, I think.
Did it?
I'm pretty sure. When you get the Yoshi doll now, I think it says count how many games that you've seen him in.
It says he had like heap of appearance. What did it say before?
Uh,
Off the top of your head.
well, he was only a fresh character at that point, so it wouldn't have said that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was literally only a fresh character at the time that come out.
Mm.
So he wouldn't have said that. I'm pretty sure it would have said something completely
What was
different.
the first game he debuted in? Was it World?
Yoshi's Cookie, I think.
Yoshi's Cookie, yeah, of course, yeah. Back
Yeah.
in the NES.
I think so.
Yeah.
It was, I'm pretty sure that was it.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that was the only game he was in
Hmm.
at that point. Was Yoshi's Cookie.
Yeah.
I don't think World was out by that point.
Well, yeah, Yoshi's Cookie was a NES game, so
Mm.
no, it wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
It would
And
not.
DX was DX Pocket, or
Don't know. I never really played Yoshi's Cookie in those
no
early games. So.
Link's Awakening. Was it Pocket or was it Color? No, it wasn't Color because
Hang on, we'll do this live on the podcast. Hey Siri, what was Yoshi's first appearance? Oh, I got it
Which
unlocked.
sport? American football, basketball, football, or ice hockey?
all right. I love you, Siri. Thanks.
It actually picked up exactly what I said. It said, "Hey Siri,
Oh,
what?"
that's sweet.
Oh, go shut up, Siri. All right,
His Siri loves me.
Oh. But it says it heard what I said, but it says which sport? What? Why did it jump straight to sport?
Oh, who knows? Who knows?
Is there someone in sport? Is there a sport athlete called Yoshi?
Look, I
Ask Google. Ask Google.
asked Google.
Do a live. Actually, ask him with your voice. Do that. See if. Because Siri drives me nuts. I tell you what, it works sometimes.
My Google picked that up. Give me a second.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
I have to restart every time you talk. No, not Hazel. Hang on. What was Yoshi's first video game appearance? What was Yoshi's first? Hang on, I'll try it one more time.
Turn it up too, so that it can go in the microphone. People can hear it.
Alright, hang on.
All right. We're hanging on, ladies and
Alright,
gentlemen.
ready?
Here we go. Google Assistant. Will it work?
What was Yoshi's first video game appearance? He picked it up that time.
According to GameSpot, Yoshi made his first appearance in
Was
Super
one.
Mario World, released in 1990.
It was World.
It
So
was
there you
work. Okay.
go. So it's World and then...
Yoshi's Cookie was a NES game, wasn't it?
Hang on. We'll ask Google Assistant this one too since Siri's use.
It just says which sport. What the fuck?
When was Yoshi's Cookie released? No, not Aussie Cookie. Hang on, I was thinking. When was Yoshi's Cookie released?
Yoshi's Cookie's initial release date is the 21st of November 1992.
So it wasn't.
Yeah. So.
So World was on. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So yeah, we're done.
it would have been Yoshi's Cookie.
Would have been Yoshi's. No,
It-
World was 1990. Yoshi's Cookie was 1992.
Oh.
So hang on.
Maybe it was a Super Nintendo game then.
When was Link's Jesus? I hate talking like that because Google hasn't picked up my voice yet because I don't use search assistants.
Okay.
When was Link's Awakening first released?
September 20th, 2019.
No, wrong one.
According
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry.
Anyway, you keep talking. I'll manually Google that one.
All right. So, wow. So, and all like around the $2,000 mark, if you're looking for a phone, don't expect its voice commands to be get you anywhere. Jesus. Because what do you've got the Note 10 Plus. I've got the iPhone 11 Pro Plus Max, whatever it's called. And yeah, good old Siri. I can't believe it just says which sport, and then it's like basketball. It's like no, it wasn't that.
No, that's exactly right. 1993. So it was my birth year that came out. So Yoshi would have been in 2 games since that point.
Yeah,
Yeah, only 2.
I remember Yoshi's Cookie as a NES game, but obviously wrong. Yeah,
You must be.
or maybe actually I think it came on NES after World was out, because the NES had a long lifespan after Super Nintendo was already out. Because obviously,
We're Googling all these facts. We're a Nintendo podcast. We should know this shit.
Well, I wasn't. We weren't alive at this point,
Well, no, true. You're not wrong.
and I never really played Yoshi's Cookie because it was boring.
Some people might fight you on that. No, it was Super Nintendo.
It was Super Nintendo.
It was
wasn't
absolutely Super Nintendo.
Okay.
So
Jeez.
there you go.
All right. A lot of people have already left.
Christ.
All right. Well, I think that brings us to the end of the show. I've got to go and record some assembly required with a few of our friends.
Required assembly sum.
Yes. Yeah.
Required assembly sum.
Well, Bryce, it was absolutely a pleasure to have you over. It's good to finally
Record a podcast.
record a podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely got around to it.
Yeah. No. We just wasted the last few minutes trying to
I
figure out some facts we should
look.
know. but-
It was fact. Well, I mean, that's the thing is just sometimes the shit skips my mind. Okay, you know.
Yeah, well,
I played a lot of Nintendo. I played a lot of Nintendo all the way from NES up till now, and I couldn't tell you the freaking when fucking Yoshi's Cookie was released. Christ, that's like something that would be completely over my head.
Yeah. Well, we better get our facts in order for next time, Bryce.
Yeah, we better go back and start playing Mario Paint.
But until then, thank you everyone for listening to the House of Mario episode 116. If you want to follow us on the Bluebird, you can follow Bryce at IVRevan. You can follow me at iDruby, and you can follow the show at the House of Mario. Patreon, which we mentioned at the start, you can find it at patreon.com/iDruby. We'll be rearranging the tiers come October. So if you're interested in that, go and have a look once that happens. And yeah, I'm not going to waste your time anymore. And we'll see you next week. Bye,
Yeah.
Ross. Bye,
See you later.
Bye, mate.
Go play some SNES.
Yeah, well, I've got to go and play some Yoshi's Cookie. Yeah.